This is a voice check. Can you guys hear me? Music fine too. Awesome. Let's go. Let's get. Is the music too loud for now? Because this is going to be the introduction. We're gonna just start off with the talking points. If you guys have any talking points, we're gonna go ahead and list them down right now. I have a few talking points that I do want to discuss. We're gonna try to do this every stream to just be a little bit more organized because there's gonna be so much to talk about now. Of course, this is what's gonna happen. Just as a heads up, we're not gonna be able to go through all of it because it's just gonna take way too long. But at least for the next stream, we're like, oh wait, we didn't talk about so and so last stream, so. Alright, music down. How's that? Is that too much? Okay, wait, hold up. I think it's echoing because yep, others are dominant. That's a good suggestion, Vishal. I'll go pull up that chart now, so that way we can keep it up. Also, I do have my own notes. Do you guys want me to start posting my notes on Discord? Like, this morning I woke up and I just scribbled down my own thoughts for myself on a notepad. If they are neat enough, I can start posting them on Discord. So, oh wait. You guys can't see the. There you go. I'll just like take like a snapshot of it with my phone and just post it on Discord. I can't do it over here, of course. But don't share my notes outside of the Discord, eh? In other like. Just keep it internal because my thoughts are just wild thoughts that I just scribble down, and it's for you guys to, because you guys have known me now for so many years, you guys kind of know how I think. I don't want it to be misinterpreted by other communities or whatever. It's not that other communities are ever going to care, but what was I doing here? Yeah, others are dominant. Others are D. Of course, as you guys are seeing, this is going to be a very informal analysis. Okay. I'm going to pull up Bitcoin dominance too and just keep it here. Alright. Damn, this chart's messy. But we've traded the Bitcoin dominant chart for years now, so that's why it's messy. Alright, next talking point that I want to add onto this list is alright, we gotta talk about the whole election, man. Jesus Christ. Election. What the plan was, post, what the outcome entails. I'm not going to go deep into any of the politics, of course, but just going to give you guys a brief. I mean, everyone knows, but I'll just talk on it a little bit. Moody Marv has a good point. We should talk about Fartcoin, but not Fartcoin in specific. Memes. because that kind of comes into this section here, kind of. But I haven't actually looked at that chart though, the specific one that Moody Marv is talking about. But I'm pretty sure he's killing it. Oh wait, yeah, there's something else I wanted to talk about. There was a question I got on Discord via PM, and for that I'll try to pull up I don't want to pull up a screenshot of that, but I'll try to type it down, and I'll also pull up Wolvie's message. So the Discord question, and I do encourage you guys to ask questions in regards to your, if you guys are struggling with anything like position management, etc. Yes, I'll take an assess of that. Okay, so this is there's one more. Okay, of course, we're not going to get to go through all of this, but I do encourage you guys to go into the seed chat, because I may not have time for number 4, but I encourage you guys to go into the seed chat and read Wolvie's breakdown. He list his answer to one of the seedlings. I also posted it in the seed golden nuggets section. There's some really good information in there from other members as well, including Shervin's great post. I recommend reading all of it. Also the great post by Zenny. And I want to talk about this Sol and ETH. All right, this is going to be important. So now what we can do is we can kind of break down the order of operations. Of course, what am I talking about? We're missing Bitcoin. Talk about Bitcoin here. Hashtag order of operations. We'll start with this. Then we'll talk about this. And then we'll talk about this. And we may not have time. Actually, no, shit. Actually, we should talk about this first. So that's 0. Yeah. And then, yeah, we may not have time for these two, but we'll try. Jesus Christ. So much to talk about. All right, so that's it for today. This is the plan for tomorrow's agenda, guys. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's stream. I'll be right back in a second. And then we'll begin. Alrighty, let's begin. And good morning. My name is Sean Dex, and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your occasional live stream. Today is one of those occasions where we do a live stream. It's November 7th, 2 days after the election. The dust seems to have settled. We apparently have a new president coming up, at the very least, and it has a lot of implications. We're going to talk about how we're going to be positioning for this. As usual, when we never ever have a reactionary plan, right? We always have a plan ahead of time based on the possible outcomes. We draw out all the outcomes, like 2 or 3 outcomes, of course, that are hierarchy to all the sub-outcomes, but we try to cover the most probable outcomes, and we have a plan for both outcomes, right? Over here, there were 2 probable outcomes: either Kamala wins, Donald Trump wins, or the third outcome too we planned for was whether there was a contested election. Seems like that's not the case. We do have a winner, but let's go ahead and draw out the outcomes, the plan rather, that we had initially discussed, and we're going to see how that corresponds to the charts and how we can position for that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Let's get a brand new screen. Okay, so what were we looking? How did we read the situation? Okay, we said if will there be a question? Oh, that's a poll. Everyone go vote. Okay, so we had 2 outcomes, of course, 2 probable situations. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. Kamala winning or Donald Trump winning, right? The Donald. If this is we were always very, very clear on how things are going to play out, right? This is how we're going to position for it. If Kamala wins, we said Bitcoin is going to go up. Okay, it may not go up as fast, but Bitcoin is going to go up. Bitcoin's going to go up, and memes are going to go up. Okay. If Donald wins, we said Bitcoin's going to go up faster than if Kamala wins, but it's going to go up regardless. Memes are going to go up, of course. Donald Trump is one big walking, talking meme machine, so he is a representation of all memes. Memes are going to go up, and however, there'll be a third category that goes up as well, which is essentially I like to call the L cube. Now this is a term that I like to use for myself. It represents all the layers, so you could break it down to all your L1s, L2s, L3s, if there are any. Then you have your liquidity providers, and then you have your lending and borrowing, right? This is what I like to break it down into when I'm looking to get into positions. I either put my positions into L1, L2s, liquidity providers, or lending and borrowing, right? I like to break it down to this category over here because this category tends to go up under certain conditions, right? Essentially, interest rates being down, Donald Trump winning, deregulation, etc., etc. With Kamala, we would likely have interest rates going down, but because of other reasons. On the long end, we'd have interest rates going down, but on the front end, we'd have interest rates going down in both situations, right? However, Donald Trump was coming in with being very, very pro-crypto, right? Pro deregulation, while Kamala was coming in with no real stance on crypto, or you could really say an anti-crypto stance. That's what it seemed like to anyone with a objective. I wouldn't say objective, like if you don't care about either side, right? You had a lot more certainty on this side, whether he's lying or not is irrelevant, right? You had a lot more certainty compared to the left side, right? So more of Gary Gensler, more of Senator Warren, more regulation, more like uncertainty as to where America's stance on crypto was going to go. It was just not clear, right? So in this situation, you would say you would want to short all of these coins to oblivion. Over here, you want to be long all of these coins, right? So the way I looked at it was, as soon as we have a victor on one of these sides, these guys are likely going to go up, not because people are going to be just willy-nilly longing them, but because they are going to be thinking anyone who's short these positions because of a probable Kamala win are going to unshort their positions, right? They're going to basically start unwinding their positions, and that alone is going to cause other traders like me to say, okay, you know what, there's going to be some momentum with people unwinding their short positions. We are likely going to be in an EV situation to add at least partial longs onto your L1s, L2s, liquidity providers, lending, borrowing, right? So your L1, L2s would be like what? L1s are Sol, Ethereum, Sui. L2s would be like Optimism, Arbitrum. Are there any more that you guys can think of? Base, right? Liquidity providers would be things like Curve, Velodrim, Airdrim. Lending, borrowing would be like Aave, right? Aave. Then there's on Optimism, there's this thing called Sony. I don't know whether it still exists though. What are some other lending? Gee, I can't think of other Compound? No, yeah, Compound, right? But yeah, so this is how I break it down though, and then I look for categories. Now, I already have exposure to liquidity providers, right? So I don't need too much exposure on the others. Of course, we have our Sol, ETH exposure. ETH, not really. I have very, very minimal ETH. All my ETH is gone into Sol, and I do want to talk about how I may be looking to actually flip that around now. So we'll be talking about Sol against Bitcoin, and ETH against the market, and how I want to position for this moving forward. You guys kind of already know my position on Sol versus Bitcoin though, right? So we got this winner, right? We got Donald winning. So Bitcoin went up, memes went up, and L3s went up. Like some of my positions are pumped really, really hard. Not L3s, L cube. Does that make sense? Any question? Any questions? Uncle Wizard says, let's get to business, bro. If this is not business to you, you are not going to succeed in this market. I'm sorry to say. This is exactly the kind of responses I got back in December 2022 when I was listing and breaking things down for people, and people were like, just give me the answer, just give me the answer. And when I did give them the answer, they did not hold on to their positions. From 16K, we've been long over here at Mango, all the way up to 75K. And the reason people did not have the conviction to hold on to their positions and got shook out on the way was because they did not go through these mental gymnastics. So if this is not business for you, you're better off just hitting the unsubscribe button, hitting the dislike button, and finding a different channel. Okay, now with this, why did I say that Bitcoin goes up a lot faster under this regime, under the Donald Trump regime, and not so fast in the Kamala regime? It's because, again, it comes down to the certainty of how fast Bitcoin is going to be accepted by the United States of America. Bitcoin was going to be accepted by the United States of America regardless, right? Bitcoin had too much of political power now in the States, where eventually one of the two sides were going to be forced to embrace it first, right? And it was just a matter of when and not if. Now, Donald Trump took the bull by the horns and said, F it, I'm going to run everyone on this, okay? This, guys, is a United States president who went up on stage and insinuated, okay, and pretty much confirmed that he is going to be supporting a Bitcoin reserve. Because right after he came up and said that he will not be selling any Bitcoin, that's what he said. He did not say I'm going to be announcing a Bitcoin reserve, right? He said he's not going to be selling any Bitcoin. Everyone expected him to announce a Bitcoin reserve. But right after that, Cynthia Loomis, whatever, she came up and announced something along those lines, right? I think she did use the word Bitcoin reserves. I have to go up and go back and look into it. But I think she did use the word Bitcoin reserve, and most recently, again, she has come out and said that they're going to be buying around 200,000 or 2,000, some crazy amount of Bitcoin over the next like 5 to 10 years. So we essentially have the first Bitcoin president of the United States of America. This is the same president who also went into a bar and purchased a beer with Bitcoin. This is the same president who launched a coin on DeFi, right? I think it was on Ethereum. He launched his own coin. So this is essentially as pro-crypto a president will ever get, right? I'm actually looking at this as almost the best things will be for the next like 8 years. I don't see the next president, even if the Republicans win again, being as pro-crypto as this dude. Like, it's insane how pro-crypto, it's as good as it gets for the next decade, in my opinion. Right? This is already ridiculous. So Bitcoin just goes up really fast in this situation. Bitcoin is going to go up under Kamala as well, in my opinion. Yeah, the election results were a big win for Bitcoin, folks. For everyone, the thing, right? If you were supporting Kamala, you were going to win regardless. You were going to win regardless, because if you were in crypto and you were supporting Kamala, you're going to win regardless, because all of your coins are going to pump. Okay, if Kamala lost, and if Kamala won, you're happy, and your Bitcoin pumps anyways, right? So why did I draw all of this out over here? Was because if you look at you draw the Venn diagram between what's common over here, right? What's the Venn diagram of what's common over here? Should I erase everything else? No, I'm just gonna do this. This is the Venn diagram, right? Of what's common between these two scenarios. Bitcoin memes. Under Kamala, Bitcoin and memes run. Under Donald Trump, Bitcoin and memes run. I'm not going to break down. It's very obvious as to why memes are going to run under Kamala, right? Same story with Donald Trump. Two different reasons though, but it's very, very, very obvious. So we positioned leading into the election on Bitcoin and memes heavily, and I positioned in some liquidity protocols, as you guys know. Velatum and Eldrum are my two picks over here. Now, however, because we got this victory over here, right, or the United States of America got this victory over here, crypto gets this entire victory as well. L1, L2s, lending, borrowing, essentially DeFi. DeFi is going to do well under these circumstances, which is why now ETH comes back into the picture, in my opinion, okay? Also, the ETH trade becomes a counter-trend trade, provided we hit my support and resistance targets, which I'm going to show you guys on the chart very, very soon. Okay, any questions here? Do you guys want to go on over to Bitcoin dominance now? Because we'll come back to these drawings in a bit. Yeah, JD Vance also owns Bitcoin. I think Vivek Ramaswamy also owns Bitcoin, right? He's definitely pro-crypto, and he has a huge, he played a huge role in the campaign as well. I didn't know JD Vance owned NFTs. Damn, that's interesting. Hey Wilkin, how's it going, man? Good to see you again. Been a while. She said strategic Bitcoin reserve. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. All of this, by the way, pales to what we are seeing on the charts, of course. So let's go on over to the charts now. Over here, we're looking at Bitcoin dominance. We've had a very, very clear stance on this as well. As long as it's going up, we're going to continue to expect it to go up, right? A trend is a trend until it breaks a trend. The trend is your friend until it breaks the trend. You guys can see how tired I am today. But I'm going to give you guys a quick history on how we traded this. We were looking for this to actually break down over here, where I drew this circle over here. You guys can see this area here. We're looking for this to break down because we were initially looking at this on the weekly time frame, and it did break a key level on the weekly time frame, right? But you guys can see that it immediately reversed and broke back into the range. As soon as you see something like this happen, you need to ask yourself, am I looking at the right time frame? Okay, because we started positioning for altcoins over here. We were around 95 to 98% altcoins, and as soon as this happened, sorry, we're 95 to 98% Bitcoin, and as soon as this happened, I was like, all right, it's time to start scaling into altcoins, and I wanted to go from 95% to 75%, okay, over the next few weeks. So basically, as this kept going down, we were going to start scaling into altcoins. But literally the next 2 weeks, we took back the range, so we had to ask ourselves, wait a minute, maybe this is trending on a different time frame. Maybe this is trending on the monthly time frame, right? So we switched on over to the monthly time frame, and we've been following it ever since then. And this is a clear uptrend on the monthly time frame. We were expecting this to wrap up with a blow off top on Bitcoin dominance, right? Essentially, where everyone just gets into Bitcoin because they're just sick and tired of losing Bitcoin value on their altcoins, and there's this huge liquidity event where Bitcoin sucks in all of that value, all of that crypto value. So I don't know whether you want to call this candle a blow off top. I don't think so. We may still see it, but I do want to draw your attention to the simple TA at this juncture, which is essentially this trend line. It looks on the monthly, it looks like we've kind of hit it already. Maybe that's the case, but on the weekly, it seems like there's a tad bit more, right? And that would make me go like, okay, we may see something interesting play out over the next few weeks, where people think again that the altcoin rally is here, but instead we end up just having an opportunity to buy Bitcoin or basically trade between the alts and Bitcoin for a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and get back into Bitcoin. Okay, and here's why I think that. First and foremost, we have this trend line that is being tested right now. Right, we're pretty much there. Right. 2, if you look at the daily, this is a pretty big move by the altcoins against Bitcoin. Because remember, Bitcoin has gone up. Bitcoin dominance coming down means that the altcoins have gone up faster than Bitcoin, right? So it's a pretty big move, okay? So the altcoins have shown strength, far more strength during these past few days compared to Bitcoin. Now, of course, that is because of what I just explained to you guys in this drawing over here, right? As soon as Donald Trump was the probable winner, as the odds started increasing more and more in his favor, people started unwinding their positions, in my opinion, their short positions. People started getting into DeFi or L1s, L2s, liquidity providers, lending, borrowing protocols. They started getting back into all these positions. So we have that initial positioning now. That initial positioning is this candle. But the trend is still up, guys. The trend is still up. That being said, we need to start watching in this area over here. I'm going to go back on over to the weekly. What else is going on over here? What else is going on? There's something going on over here that I talk about on all our charts, especially on charts that have reversed from a massive breakdown. We are testing an inflection point. I'm going to go ahead, turn on our object tree. We have a breakdown point zone that I've drawn out right here, inflection point from this bear flag coming in from 2021. Okay. This was when the altcoins went on a massive tear, right? And then, we put in a rounded formation, and Bitcoin is on its way up again over here. But now we're testing that inflection point. We need to watch this. We need to watch this zone over here, because if Bitcoin flips this zone against altcoins, it's likely because Bitcoin is going on a massive tear, and we could see 71%. Okay, but until we flip that zone over there, this could actually be the point of reversal for alt season. Now, I'm not saying that is what's going to happen. I'm saying this is that juncture where you cannot get too gung-ho on going all in on your Bitcoin and finally capitulating on your altcoins, and you can't get too gung-ho on going all in on your altcoins either, because the trend on Bitcoin is still up, right? So this entire 2 years now that I've been saying, stick to your Bitcoin, stick to your Bitcoin, stick to your Bitcoin, that's when you should have been gung-ho on Bitcoin. Over here is not the time. Like, if you had to capitulate on your altcoins, you should have been doing it all these months ago, all like these past 2 years, actually, that I've been talking about it. At this juncture, I'm not so sure anymore. Okay, I'm not so sure anymore. And I don't want to give you guys, I don't want to come in here with confidence and give you guys false confidence when I don't have that confidence at this juncture. Okay, this is an inflection point. And until we flip this point over here, I don't think Bitcoin dominance is going up. Okay, but at the same time, I don't have the confidence to go all in on all coins either. Does that make sense? Okay, and that kind of lines up with the fundamentals of what is going on over here as well, because in one situation we have a president who is pro-crypto, so there's a lot of unwind within the DeFi space on the short positioning. However, we also have a president who's ultra pro Bitcoin, okay? And that could have massive implications on the global scale, guys, okay? If I've been talking about this game theory aspect of Bitcoin for 7 years now, 7 years, right? That's what got me so fascinated with Bitcoin as well, because it's gonna end up being a situation where countries are gonna have to silently start accumulating Bitcoin just to protect themselves against other countries protecting Bitcoin, right? So if the United States is already going to lead on this, all our theories on how the United States is going to have to be the laggard because they're so big, it completely gets flipped around, where we all of the pro Bitcoiners thought that this is going to happen over like 10, 15 years, maybe 30 years. It may all happen in a jiffy, okay? It may all happen within the next like 4 to 8 years. Now, on that too, because I'm thinking like this, and I'm thinking, oh my god, because this has now become a reality, Donald Trump is actually elected, and we have strong terminology like Bitcoin reserve. Holy shit, what could this possibly mean? This could mean $500,000 Bitcoin. This could mean $1 million Bitcoin, 2 million, 5 million. Where does this take us? Would it at the very least take us to gold's market cap? What price point is that? 300,000? Okay, that should be the minimum, right? Oh, right? But this is all speculation, okay? This is all speculation. We are still November 7th. Could someone give me the date of the presidential inauguration? Could someone quickly do it? Come on. When is he going to be officially inaugurated into office? On the 20th? So Jan 20th? Jan 6th? No one's going to forget Jan 6th. Not that it was funny, but the Jan some, okay, but I want the exact date. Jan 20th is the date, okay. Oliver, thank you, Oliver. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, let's do this. We are gonna do this now as a community. We're brainstorming here, guys. We're brainstorming. And if I'm all over the place, I do apologize, but you guys gotta deal with me every now and then in regards to this. Kush has to deal with me every morning. November 24th to Jan. We're looking at the weekly, right? Jan 20th. Okay, Jan 20th. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to switch on to the daily. Okay. From here, from where we are to somewhere around here. Okay. How many days is this? 74 days. Okay, so around 75 days. The next 75 days is going to be the zone of speculation, where everyone's minds are going to be running wild. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. It's going to mean this for Bitcoin. It's going to mean that for Bitcoin. You're going to see all these posts on Twitter. Like right now, everyone's digesting it. So no one's talking about shit, right? No one's talking about shit. But now what's going to happen is, over the next 75 days, people are going to start expecting a lot. Okay? And there's way too much time for people's minds to run wild. I want you guys to think about an idea of something happening versus the thing actually happening. What's more bullish? The idea of something happening, right? When people's minds are allowed to run crazy with no check. And that's the thing, guys, because he is not going to be in office between now and 75 days. Everyone's just going to let their imaginations run wild. Right? So because of that, we may have stupid ass calls. I mean, I think this is going to happen eventually, but people are going to start saying things like Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million by end of 2025. We're going to have people saying Bitcoin hits $1 million by the end of 2025. Bitcoin's hitting $500,000 by end of 2025. We're going to hear it all. All right? The narratives are gonna start coming. Are you guys with me? Spam yes if you guys are with me. If you guys are not with me, I'm going to stop the brainstorm and I'm going to move on to just the more basic stuff. Spam yes, spam yes, spam yes. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Okay, I want to see questions from you guys. I want to hear your thoughts, guys. We're brainstorming here. I'm not solo storming. All right, awesome. Good stuff. Okay. So, what could this mean? This could mean that we play out both scenarios where we reject the inflection point at the top of this range over here, okay, where we've been going and putting in highs, higher lows, highs, higher lows. We come down, test one of these zones over here. Maybe this is it. I don't know. I think we could come down a tad bit more. Then the question is, the rally from there, is that a dead cat bounce that makes us come down like this, or like come down like that and break the channel, or do we do this? That is going to be very painful for all coins, okay? So how do we position for this is the question. How do we position for this? I still genuinely think that the best way to position for a scenario like this is a simple barbell strategy where you get into altcoins that have massive gain to the upside while also having a reasonable safety profile in regards to it not being a rug pull, the community, etc. is good, etc. So you have to do we'll do the due diligence together as a community, but you need a proper risk profile where it's not going to be a rug pull, but the gains are not just a 2x or 3x. The altcoins that you are getting into should be more like a potential minimum 5x to 10x minimum, okay? Because that way, if they do run, you get a massive. The idea is you can position with a small amount of your Bitcoin and get a massive payoff to make it worth it. But if they don't run, right, and Bitcoin starts ripping, even if you lose half your value of your Bitcoin because you positioned in that, it's not a big deal, okay? Yeah, it's going to be painful, but it's not going to be as painful as going 75% of your portfolio, all coins, and losing half your Bitcoin value. That's going to be painful, right? So let's say you're like only 10%, 15% of your portfolio on all coins, but they do a 10x, okay? It's going to be a huge win. But if you lose half, like Bitcoin rallies, and they lose 50%, it's gonna sting, but it's not gonna be devastating. Does that make sense? At this juncture, okay? At this juncture, in my opinion, until we get confirmation of a actual M over here and a breakdown, I want to see this. We do not go heavily into altcoins. As long as this trend is up, you get ready for this inflection point being respected and an M-like formation being put at the top of the channel over here. But in my opinion, it is still too early, regardless of what I drew out over here. How do I get that? Damn it. regardless of what I drew out over here, guys, I don't think we have permission to go heavily into altcoins just yet. Now, that's just my view. This is me brainstorming here. We're still going to talk about Sol and ETH. For those of you who are on Sol and ETH, don't worry about it. But those are my thoughts. Krisha was contemplating 500,000. There you go. The narratives have begun. Okay, so what's one way to get a grip on whether or not we can take a reasonable position on a barbell strategy, right? If you're looking at Bitcoin dominance, you know that, okay, this is the entire market cap against Bitcoin. So essentially Bitcoin's performance against Ethereum, Solana, and all the high M caps as well. One of the charts that we've been looking at to get an idea on how we can position on the low M caps, right, to get a better risk reward profile, especially while Bitcoin dominance is rising like this, was our others.dominant chart. Now, I covered this a lot on the YouTube channel. I really recommend watching those videos. If someone could link it out, link it for people, it'd be awesome. But I marked out the zone for you guys months ago, okay? I said this is the zone of max opportunity, okay? We talked about it. We talked about the entire history of the others.dominant chart, and right here we are still holding that zone of max opportunity. We were expecting this rising channel over here, right? This rising channel to break down, and we always look for it to test the second lower high, right? So would be higher low in this case, would be around this zone, right? So we're looking for this zone-ish to get tapped. We've come down a bit lower than that, right? But we still held the orange box that we drew out. So this is all one big accumulation opportunity, but at the same time, you don't want to be catching a falling knife, right? Which is why you have an allocation percent at the back of your mind at all times, and you never cross that. So in our case, when we're going 95% Bitcoin and only 5% altcoins, that in itself will protect you, because at one point you're either going to have to stop, or you have to constantly manage how much you're getting into, how much position size you're getting into each of these altcoins within the others.dominance, to make sure that you can DCA while still remaining within your 5% budget. You have only a 5% budget, right? So you got to like manage it that way. This is not reversed yet, but you are seeing support at the moment, right? At least for now. So when do we know that this wants to actually reverse? Well, you're looking for this trend, this downtrend, to put it around the formation and do something like this, right? You don't want to wait too long though, because as soon as it does start running hard, you're gonna probably miss out on a lot of gains. So like I said, that's why I marked out the zone for you guys. Have an allocation, a 5% allocation on your altcoins, and be very selective. For now at the very least, as long as Bitcoin is doing what it is, you have to be very selective on the altcoins that you pick, right? You want to get into altcoins that are in an uptrend, which is what we've been doing, right? Coins like GIGA Chad, Lock-in, Retardio, memes essentially. Hey Kirby, how's it going, man? I'm sure Sean can walk on the lake with that hairstyle. Would you suggest the same strategy or ratio for 5K portfolio? Asks Nada. Yes, I do. One of the mistakes a lot of folk made back when Bitcoin was sitting at $3,000 was thinking that, hey, and I did a video and a live stream on this exact topic, and I think I used that number. I used $5,000 as a example, right, guys? Do you guys remember that? I'm gonna go back to our Bitcoin chart over here, and back over here at $3,000, right? At $3,000, when Bitcoin was sitting at $3,000, and I was preaching the same principles. Nothing has changed. People said the same thing back then to me that, hey, I have only a $5,000 or $10,000 portfolio. I can't do just Bitcoin. I can't go I can't do 95% Bitcoin or 80% Bitcoin. I gotta go into altcoins because I'm never gonna make it with just Bitcoin. Well, at the time, if you put $5,000 into Bitcoin, okay, and the last time I covered this topic, Bitcoin was sitting at $60,000. That's a 20x. From 3,000 to 60,000, that's a 20x, right? Well, Bitcoin's at 75,000 now. That's even more. So you would have grown that so easily. You just all you had to do was be patient. All you had to do was be patient. And now, right? If you take a $5,000 portfolio and you 20x it, well, think about that. Think about how much that is sitting at today, right? You now have a $100,000 portfolio, and now you're no longer thinking, "Oh, I only have a $5,000 portfolio. Should I go into altcoins, or should I still do max Bitcoin the way you suggest?" Now you're thinking, "Oh, I have $100,000. You know what? I'm going to keep 95,000 in Bitcoin. It's done me so good. I can put 5,000 into altcoins." Look at what has happened. All you did was stay mango, stay easy, stay stress-free. You grew your 5,000 to 100,000, and now instead of putting 100% of your portfolio into altcoins, you are still putting that same position size of $5,000, right? Because over here, you wanted to put $5,000 into altcoins, but all you had to do was wait a few years, and now you're putting 5,000 into altcoins, but it's only 5% of your portfolio. Look at the risk reward that has changed, right? Over here, you're risking 100% of your portfolio on shitcoins. Over here, you're risking only 5% of your portfolio on shitcoins. Look at that. Why? Because you stuck with the safer asset, let it grow, and then you went out the risk curve. People go out the risk curve right off the bat, right? But the edge isn't doing what most people are not willing to do. The edge isn't doing in what most people are not willing to do. And the easiest thing to do in regards to what most people are not willing to do is patience and discipline. You don't need to be gifted for that. You just need to wait and have discipline. It's so fucking easy, right? And now today, you could put 5,000 into altcoins, and that would have been only 5% as opposed to going 100% altcoins and your entire portfolio. Right? So yeah, I say, I know you have 5,000, man. You have 5,000. You can go for the Hail Mary win, or you could say, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to stick with Mango. I'm going to go along with them on their journey. I'm going to learn from them over the next few years. And by the time I'm ready, after I've learned over the next few years, I'm going to have a huge portfolio, and I can take only 5% of that portfolio, 10% of that portfolio, and it's going to have a meaningful impact while also keeping my risk down. I'm going to sleep well at night. My wife is going to love me that much more. My kids are going to respect me, because when Bitcoin is sitting at $1 million, I'm not going to be having to look my kid with a blank look on my face and have a speechless answer when he asks me, "Hey, Dad, Bitcoin is sitting at $1 million. How come you're not in? How come you're not in? Where were you when Bitcoin was at 50K? Okay, that's just my opinion. Where'd the music go? We sat through an entire playlist. Holy shit. I did want to talk about our leverage trade. By the way, guys, I want to talk about an update on the leverage trade as well as our spot positioning. But I'll do that in tomorrow's live stream or day after. I did want to do at least one more live stream this weekend. We do have a lot to talk about today, so let's go pull up the agenda. I lost where's the chat? Okay, what else? What do we want to talk about next? We talked about Bitcoin dominance. We talked about altcoins. Okay, yeah. So I talked about how we should be positioning, right? I don't think it's time yet. We will get the clear signs, but definitely be putting in some allocation into altcoins on the farther end of the risk curve, in my opinion, and stay away, in my opinion, from the top 10 altcoins. In my opinion, if you're going to pick anything in the top 10 altcoins, just go Bitcoin. Just go Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is going up. So why, right? What are your other two options? Sol and ETH, right? Sol and ETH. You guys should know my opinion on Sol. I was advocating Sol all the way back in 2022 when price was sitting at around $22. Over the past months, I have not been advocating Sol. It has been my opinion that Sol has topped out against Bitcoin. Not against USD, but Sol has topped out against Bitcoin. And I'm going to stay firm on that opinion until we break the zone. It's as simple as that. Like, we break the zone, I change my mind. Oh, wait. We have this. Let me just hide that. Okay, yeah. I am glad to be wrong on Sol, and I would love to put on risk on Sol once we flip the zone, right? Why would I be glad? Because I get to now put on risk while also being in a very, very liquid asset. But for now, it has always been my thesis, ever since we were sitting over here, right? When Sol was sitting against Bitcoin all the way down here, that if we reach this zone, I'm going to be de-risking my Sol, period. This zone was all right, I no longer want to be on Sol because it's not going to outperform Bitcoin that much to warrant me having risk in it. It could still outperform Bitcoin. It's been trading in this range. Like, clearly, the rest of the traders are in line with me. They agree with what I am seeing on the charts, and they are trading in the same way, right? But as soon as retail comes in a meaningful way, we will know whether or not they are buying Sol or buying something else if the zone breaks. Because once retail comes in, traders are just pushed out of the picture. Retail spot buying will just push traders out of the picture, and all that matters at that point is the trend, right? Once retail comes in the picture, what you want to trade is the trend, right? Traders too will stop trading support and resistance. They will start trading high lows and high highs. That's all they trade, right? Until that trend breaks, and then we trade lower lows and lower highs, right? So support and resistance doesn't matter all that much until retail comes in and we start trending, right? So at the moment, we're not trending. We're going in a zone. So Sol is not worth it for me because we are squeezing at the moment, right? I'll wait. It's better for me to be in a coin like this GIGA. Radium. Like this, right? I want to be in something like this. I've been tweeting about this. By the way, follow me for Alpha. If you guys did follow me, you guys knew I was trading this coin. I'm going to be posting more of my trade ideas, right, on Twitter, because we are in a market now that you need to get into position quickly. I'm not going to be able to come up here and do a daily video every single time. I'm just going to be posting on Twitter, and you guys either follow me and get the trade, or you miss out on the trade. So follow me on Twitter at Sean Dexter. So this is the kind of asset I want to be in, right? Another one that I like a lot actually is Lock-in, right? I've been trading this one. I got in all the way down here, and over here, right? So these guys are just going up, and they are in a blue sky breakout. Wow, that escalated pretty quickly. Welcome to Mango. Oh man. Jesus Christ. I need a haircut though. It's getting too hot. Okay, we were talking about Sol. So yeah, Sol Bitcoin, in my opinion, until we flip that zone, I'm not too interested. Right, it's looking good though. If you guys want to position on, I said the same thing to Exponent from the seed program, right? If you're looking for Sol to outperform Bitcoin, one way to do it is to position on these high lows. Even then, I would likely just do it as a trade, right? To position on against these high lows over here. You can see how these high lows are being respected, right? Damn, to the T, holy crap. Usually when I draw a trend line like this, and it's being respected so well, you know that traders are trading this, and that's edge on its own. As soon as you find out that traders are respecting a certain level, that is edge, right? Anyways, going back to what I was saying, you can trade this from the bottom of this trend line over here to the top of the range, and then take your profits, because we could do this and then this. That's what I'm afraid of. You know, I don't want to be caught off guard with something like this with a big position size, because it's just painful, and you need a big position size on Sol to have a meaningful win against Bitcoin, right? Because from here to here too, it's 71%. But is that all you're looking to do? Yeah, it needs to break out the range to begin with. So if you do want to trade this, I would suggest trading it from here to here, and then if we flip this, you can do this. Trade it from there to there, and then if you flip this, it's likely going up further. Right? The market will tell you. Another way to do it is to position on this high low over here, and you have a thesis saying that, you know what, I think Sol is going to outperform Bitcoin. I really think so. Right? If you have that thesis, I think Sol is going to outperform Bitcoin, and I am going to position heavily on this, and I'm going to capture that 70%, because 70% is not something to scoff at. But I'd rather have a smaller allocation, because I love Bitcoin so much, right? I'd rather have a smaller allocation of Bitcoin into a Sol meme or Sol DeFi product, right? Pick your poison, and go for a 700% move, right? So that way I can have a 1/10 size of Bitcoin and get a much bigger payoff. And these things have been doing crazy moves, guys. Like, if you go back to, I posted a trade setup on the seed chart, right, on SXP. Was it SPX 6900? Right. And the zone I marked out, I sent a screenshot to you guys, but the zone I marked out was around 61 cents to 58 cents, right? So 61 cents, somewhere around. It came and tapped my zone. I'll give you guys a screenshot. But I charted this on Gecko Terminal. But what I'm trying to say is, from here to the top of the range alone was a 45% move. Okay. So now, if I position for something like this, which I did, right? I told you guys about my trade idea like 3 weeks in advance. We finally got I think we were sitting over here. SXP was sitting over here. SPX was sitting over here. And then we had to be patient on this. It finally did come down into our zone. And we're expecting something like this, right? But the thing is that when I'm positioning for something like this, I get 45% to the top of the range. And then if it breaks out, I get another 45% or 100%, right? Who knows? What is that? From here to here, that's 140%. And that's just one leg. If this continues to put in a formation like this and does something else like this, now suddenly I'm getting another leg, right? And there's no resistance. I'm already 4x up on this trade from 60 cents to $2.50. And this is a highly liquid chart. I have no problems with liquidity whatsoever. It's trading perfectly. It's respecting TA. It's respecting levels. And there's a good narrative on this too. So that's all I care about. JV says, the mango way, some of the dips seem extremely volatile on the memes. How do you deal with that? Bigger stops. No. Okay. So, uh, you know what? This is a really really good thingy. I'm gonna pull up Wolvie's. Damn, I should. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Hide this guy's. Yeah. Wolvie had a really good answer to this. Okay, so Wolvie was answering. This is from the Seed private chat. And Wolvie was answering one of the seedlings' questions. He was struggling with something very similar to you. Dips being big, right? Guys, when trading, as soon as you get into the world of trading or investing, you need to understand that volatility is your ally. Volatility is the lifeblood of your success. Volatility is the lifeblood of your success. If there's volatility to the upside, you're going to be making a lot of money. Without volatility to the upside, you're not going to be making a lot of money, right? Everyone agrees with that. However, volatility to the upside is not going to come without volatility to the downside. It goes hand in hand. Volatility is the lifeblood of your success. So if you want to be successful, you need to start saying, give me volatility, right? It needs to be flowing through your veins. You need to live volatility. So your entire strategy should encompass volatility, right? That's one of the foundations of the seed program too, by the way, right? But even if you guys are not in the seed program, you need to build a risk management system for yourselves that embraces volatility. Everyone is looking for a take profit system or take profit strategy. You guys don't need that. We are entering a bull market now. A take profit strategy is the least of your worries. What you guys need is a risk management system, not a take profit system, a risk management system. The bull market will take care of your take profits. What you need to take care of is your risk, correct? And your risk management system needs to embrace volatility. That's the foundation of our strategy, even at Mango and especially at Seed, because that's how we come up. That's how we set up all our trades, right? Wolvie over here has some really good advice for you though. He's like, just some general advice from taking mostly losses for years until starting to figure out what works for me. And by the way, we all go through this, dude. We all go through this. We all go through losses until we're like, F it, I gotta do this right. I gotta do this right. I gotta set rules and a principled way of doing things for me to succeed, because I know I can do this. I keep seeing that had I just followed what I know I had to do, I would have been successful, right? How does that how do you do that though? Well, by setting a boundary within which you can play within, right? Imagine going and playing a football match, but there's no referee to tell you, hey, the match has ended, or hey, you can't do this, or hey, you got to switch sides, right? There needs to be boundaries and rules. When you play a sport, there's always a referee telling you what to do. When you go to school, there's always the teacher telling you what to do. When you enter the trading world, there's no one telling you what to do. So suddenly we are living within a world where we have no one telling us what to do, and we are feeling liberated, but at the same time, it sets us up for our own demise unless we tell ourselves what to do, right? So these are some rules that Wolvie over here has listed out for himself and for the seedlings that you guys can take advantage of over here right now. He says, use the risk management sheet. Now, if you guys in the seed program, everyone listen to this. Use a risk management sheet. This is non-negotiable until you become confident in your trading, and still advise after that. Guys, I've been trading a very, very long time now, and I still do not put on trades without this. Okay, every time I have regretted it, either because one, the risk management sheet would have told me to have a much bigger position size and have a massive victory. I'm like, why didn't I just follow the risk management sheet? I would have made so much more money. Or two, the risk management sheet has told me not to have such a big position size, and I ended up losing way too much, right? The risk management sheet literally protects you against volatility and also makes volatility your ally at the right times, right? Lower your risk. In periods where I took the most losses, I reduced my risk to 2.5% for all trades. Losing less will have a greater impact on your absolute numbers in the end than gunning for one or two big wins early on in your career. One of the things I like to do is personally me, is when I start noticing that I'm taking multiple losses, I start reducing my risk every trade. Every trade, I just reduce down. I do the same thing when I'm winning though. When I notice that I'm on a winning streak, I start increasing my risk, right? I use that momentum and I start ramping it up. Now, of course, you still want to stay within your risk parameters, right? I always stay within my risk parameters. What I'm trying to say is that, let's say I have a maximum of 3% per trade, right? You guys may have it lower or higher. I'll start lower at the beginning, and then I'll ramp it up to my maximum threshold, right? And then if I start losing, I'll start going down. I'll go down to like almost a nothing position, if I have to, if I'm losing that much. But that is risk protecting on its own. Here, this is really good line. Have a system for setting up stops. Seed gives you one, but there are other methods that work too. Exactly. If you're not using the Seed risk management system, build your own system. Okay, you can build your own system. Okay, Seed gives you a risk management system, but that doesn't mean you can't build your own risk management system. Okay, now those of you who are extremely busy and don't have the time to build your own system, use the Seed risk management system. I've been using it for freaking years. Wolvie is still using it. Sherwin is still using it. There's no reason not to use it if you're too busy to build your own system, especially if it works for you. Use it. It's really it's my biggest hedge. And remember, the position is very poorly risk managed if you have not actively set your stops up. At least alerts to get you on the charts when getting close to the stops, right? So basically have alerts anywhere close to your invalidation or to your stop losses, so that way you can. Firstly, your invalidation is not your stop loss. Always remember that. On very, very rare occasions will your invalidation and your stop loss be the same. Secondly, you always need to be prepared to manage your position at the right time. So for example, if you told yourself that you are going to be managing your position on the 12-hour candle close, you need to be ready there 15 minutes before the 12-hour candle close. If you've told yourself that I'm going to be managing my position if price comes down to a certain low, you need to be ready ahead of time, ahead of that low, to manage your position, right? So if the low is here, you got to put your alerts somewhere around here. Okay, you guys can, and then over here he talks about volatility as well. This is a really good piece of wisdom as well. To figure out a specific asset's volatility, you either need to get experience with the asset, or you need to look back and test it, including your stop strategy, to find out. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but to find out whether or not you should expect to take 1 or 2 stops before getting your position on for the move. This way you can tweak the settings of your stop loss strategy to minimize the issue. This naturally means you have to accept smaller positions on higher volatility assets, but as with any trade, when it starts going your way, you can carefully add some extra positions on top of the main one, or pullbacks according to your setups. This is pretty much what I do for all my trades, including my meme trades, especially when, let's say I get into a position on this, right? Let's say I get in over here, okay? Again, during the bull flags over here. It does move like this, takes an impulsive move. Over here now, when it comes down, I start watching it. Does it do this? Kind of like what I drew out for the Bitcoin dominance, right, for you guys. Does it do this and breaks down, or does it actually maintain its higher low? I'm going to have a thesis for both scenarios, and I'm going to position for my bias. Now, for this scenario here, my bias was up, right? And I drew out both for you guys in Seed. I said we could have a situation like this, in which case I'll de-risk over here, but I'm gunning for this. And what do you know? It pumped. Now, I could still be wrong. This has not hit my target yet. This is my first target, $1.40. And I'm going to be gunning for more after that. But I could still be wrong. Could still break down. And I'll manage my risk underneath here. Does that make sense? I know I went over this really quickly, but this is going to be like really good advice for all of you. All of you take a screenshot of this and follow it. Like, print it out on your wall. Really good post by Wolvie. Okay, let's go back to our notes. We talked about election, we talked about Bitcoin dominance, altcoins, we talked about others dominance. We talked about Wolby screenshot too. We talked about Sol ETH. Hey, we talked about everything. Are we good to? Oh, okay. We're good to wrap up. I think in tomorrow's live stream or the weekend, I'll do an update on our Bitcoin positioning. It's pretty simple though, right? I'll give you guys a recap, etc. But what do we do? We put our 1544. Our long position was from here. Our spot positions are from, well, you guys should have been in your spot positions definitely over here, but our spot position was from way deeper, and I actually even added a bit of spot, but it wasn't meaningful, honestly. It wasn't meaningful. I was adding more so for a longer term positioning, and also for something else though. I'll talk about that later. So yeah, we longed here, and then I gave you guys another idea for those of you who did not long over here. This was a really good opportunity to long over here. We talked about it being a great idea because Bitcoin failed to close above $65,000 on the September close. As soon as that happened, or rather before that happened actually, we said that if Bitcoin does not close above $65,000 leading into this monthly close, we're going to be placing our bids for our leverage position at the zone over here, right? It was a Tenkan Kijun on the 4-day time frame. We got those bids. Bitcoin has rallied ever since. Now, for those of you who did not get into position, I gave you guys another trade opportunity on the literal, like, what was that? The stream last week, as well as the daily videos that came after. Of course, no one listened. I can tell from the amount of feedback I get from those kind of videos. But now people are PMing me, asking me about that, about whether or not they should long now, and I really don't think so. At least for me personally, this was the next long. The zone here. Did you look at Sol ETH? We've been trading Sol ETH for the last 2 years. I think Sol ETH is not worth trading anymore. We pretty much put all our Sol into all our ETH into Sol when Sol was sitting at around $24. Not pretty much. That was our trade over here at Mango. When Sol was sitting at around $24, a little bit lower actually. I'll pull up the Sol ETH chart. Wait, let me talk about Bitcoin first. The next opportunity I gave you guys was here at $67,000. I said it's a really easy way to manage your trade. Why? Because if we lose the zone over here, you can just exit. Very easy trade opportunity. Not because it's a certainty, but more so because it's easy to manage, right? And look at the rally of that zone. Again, we'll talk about this in more detail in the next live stream, where I'll do a proper recap and we'll break down how we came up with these levels, etc. Because that way you guys can learn from it and you guys can use the same techniques on the altcoins, because it's the same thing, guys. I'm not doing anything special. Can we also look at Doge? I think Krisha covered did a really good daily video on Dogecoin, but yeah, we can look at it. Where can I find the sheet? The sheet is it's within the risk management program. If you are on Seed, I don't think you're on Seed, right? Unless you are, because I may not recognize your YouTube handle. But if you are on Seed and you've not reached the risk management module yet, I recommend not skipping any modules. You need to watch all the modules in that order. I put a lot of time and effort in structuring the modules. In fact, I put a lot of time in removing things, rearranging things, etc. So do not skip any. Like, you guys can talk to Wolby, talk to Sherwin, talk to Mark in there. You'll understand the importance of every module. It's only once you go through them you'll be like, oh, this is why Sean says not to skip modules. Don't skip modules. You may feel this urge to rush into the risk management module. Do not do that. Get there in your own time. You'll get the risk management indicator, the risk management tool sheet as well. Everything will be explained to you, and you'll have that much more conviction in trading and following the systems if you stick to your going through the modules in the proper order. So yeah, that was our trade on Bitcoin. As for taking a leverage trade over here, there's no, in my opinion, no. I know you guys may not want to hear it. I'm not touching leverage over here. I mean, stay in your current leverage positions. I'll send you guys my notes that I scribbled down for myself. Stay in your current leverage positions. Do not add leverage here. In my opinion, price may go up. I'm not saying price is not going to go up. I'm just saying that over here, it's very hard to manage your risk. Okay? It's very hard to manage your risk. And I don't like these kind of trades where it's hard to manage your risk. You could say, you know what? I'll get out if Bitcoin breaks back into this range over here. But I think Bitcoin could very well break back into this range. In fact, I'm kind of expecting it to. It could, let's see. I drew this trend line really willy-nilly, of course, but how would you draw this trend line? It could reject over here. But then again, it could, where's my drawing tools? Here. It could break out of the range and then break back into the range, retest this, and then come up, right? So just, I don't know, man. You guys had an opportunity here. You guys also had the opportunity at that zone I marked out over here. No, here, right? So over here, I don't know. I'm just not liking the leverage over here. That's, okay, I personally would not put on any more leverage here, but at the same time, I'm keeping my current trades open because if it does go up, I'm going to be a very, very, very happy camper. JV says it looks very detailed. Yeah, the seed program is it's extremely comprehensive. It's you got to commit to it. It will be life changing though. You won't look at the markets the same way ever again. Sherwin says, oh yes. Yeah, Sherwin's been in the program since 2021. Yeah, he posted a screenshot too of, best thing I've ever done in my life, let alone trade. Yeah, that's the thing about seed, right? It's not just about trading. It's about how your view on life too. RZ99 says, that's the setup that the beach mode. Sean's keen eye spotted the cloud of liquidity. Are you talking about the zone over here? This was the question I wanted to cover, but I'll cover that in tomorrow's stream. Yeah, Bitcoin looking good. Yeah, this zone over here. So you're talking about so this is the trade that I'm in. This is the trade I told you guys that I'm taking, and was because that was from this rally, from this point to this point, we weren't in a leverage trade, right? We did not have any leverage trades open, and we're like, shit, I did not like, just like how I did not like Bitcoin over here, not because I didn't expect it to keep going up. I was like, it could go up, I don't care. I was like, I don't like the risk reward profile of putting a leverage trade during this zone over here. By the time we got confirmation of, hey, this is a real move, I'm like, okay, cool. If Bitcoin fails to hold this area over here on the October close, or rather September close, leading into October open, which it failed to do so, we're like, okay, cool. We did not get the great September close, but now what we get is a potential trade opportunity in the zone over here, right? And we got it. And now we're sitting pretty. So even when prices dump in, you guys can look for opportunity like we did. That was the golden nugget of that trade, that we did not get the close that we wanted. We did not get Bitcoin doing what we wanted, but we got what we really needed. Oof, that's profound. I think they wrote a song about that, right? You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. I've lost so many trades by exiting on the dips. Yeah, man. Jay, you gotta build a risk management system for yourself. Like the bull market is gonna give you the profits, but if you don't have a proper risk management system to keep you in the trade and know when to take your profits, because the risk management system does both, right? I'm not talking about set your stop and know when to exit. No. That's not a risk management system. That's you willy-nilling where you're putting your stops, right? Like any trader that does not have a system, a proper system for their invalidations and for their stop losses, I think they're gambling. I think they're gambling. I think they're gambling, right? So you don't need a take profit system. You need a risk management system, because the bull market is going to take care of your take profits. Okay, the bull market is going to do everything for you. But if you don't have a risk management system, you're not going to be able to survive the bull market to take advantage of the take profits. So you're going to get shook out, or when the time does come to take profits, you're not going to have a system to take your profits, right? Just the other day, Zenny, actually, I should even, I hope he doesn't mind, but I'll post a bit of what he said. I don't know whether he's gonna mind me posting this. I really hope he doesn't, because it's such a, I'm gonna ask him for permission before I post a screenshot. But he talks about how at around $40,000 Bitcoin during the last cycle, Kusha and I were both calling for a downtrend. We're calling it's a downtrend. Okay, firstly, I flipped on, hey, this cycle is pretty much over. It sucks. It's painful. I'm not gonna tell you guys what to do essentially, but I think it's over. And around $40,000, I'm like, this is going down. This is going down. And he talks about how he vividly remembers me. He's like, here, I'm gonna quote one of the things he said in the screenshot. I remember Sean with his curly hair yelling into the mic and still haunting me, talking about how Bitcoin is going to drop low, and that stuck with me. And that's when I decided to join Seed, right? Because, guys, if you don't have a system to tell you that price is going to keep going lower, you're going to constantly make excuses for why price is going to bounce, right? And you don't know when to take profits. Now, sometimes it's not even about taking profits. Sometimes it's about saying, you know what, I'm going to hold my capital back and not add anymore, right? Personally, me, I did not exit my spot Bitcoin during that entire cycle. But I said, I'm not going to be adding any more Bitcoin until we come down much lower. So all the capital that I had ready to allocate was free at around $20,000 to $17,000 Bitcoin, which was when I started really going hard with my spot allocation. I always had a long-term plan on Bitcoin, and I did not want to get too cute on selling the top of the Bitcoin cycle because my targets were not hit yet, right? So I said, you know what, it's cool. I've made a decision to say that to me, my current allocation is more important than price going down. I'm okay with price going down. I'm telling myself that, Sean, do not cry about this later. You know that price is going to go down. And you're deciding to hold anyways, because the risk of me being wrong about price going down was way more than the risk of price actually going down, okay? Because I was in that position. Now, if you're not in that financial position to say that to yourself, you need to sell. You need to take profits. To me, I was like, okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. Because, guys, I've been in the cycle since 3K. If price goes down to around 25K, 20K, it didn't matter to me, right? I remember I was having a phone call with Sherwin, and Sherwin probably remembers this. He's here right now. I'm like, you know what, man? I think this is the bottom. I'm beginning to feel the pain now. Price was sitting at around 16,000 at the time. I'm like, I'm beginning to feel the pain now. And that's probably the bottom, because it was beginning to sting me too now. At 16,000, I was like, Jesus effing Christ, man. Ah. Yeah, Sean's like, lol, I remember that, yeah. I was like, this is likely the bottom, dude, because I'm beginning to feel the pain. Let me increase the chat figure. He's like, lol, I remember that. Oh man, the chat was a bit too small, eh? Oh, Zinmi is here. Yeah, I'll post your story next time, because we're probably running out of time too. But thank you for allowing me to post your story. I think it was a great post. I just didn't want to post it without your permission. 16K after so long. At 20K, yeah. At 20,000, I was like, yeah, this is still fine. At 16K, I was like, oh man, this is. It's getting painful now. And that's when I knew it was the bottom, because if it starts getting painful for the veterans, I still don't look at myself as a veteran of the space at all. But I feel like I've been beaten and battered enough to call myself a little mature in this space. At 16,000, I was like, oh man, it's getting painful. That's when I knew to start allocating. I always use my pain and my pleasure as a way to get in and get out of positions, right? I remember, if Mark is here, Mark, do you remember when that coin I was trading, Friend Pet, I got in at $1 and it went all the way up to $16. And I was like, oh man, this is so exciting. I did a 16x in the middle of the bear market. I was like, man, you know what, Mark, this is likely the top. This is it ended up being the exact top of that asset. This is a dangerous strategy in all coins. Yeah, you don't want to time bottoms at all in all coins, Oliver. Yeah, Mark's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was exact top, dude. Exact top. Even with Oliver, if you were here, by the way, for Bitcoin, that wasn't all we used to time the bottom for Bitcoin. Like if you talk to anyone over here who was there with us back then, we spent 2 months coming up with a complex thesis, okay, looking at a multitude of charts from TradFi to Bitcoin to commodities. We were looking at everything, okay, macro, liquidity profile, everything to come up with a strong thesis for Bitcoin being the bottom. Okay, you use your euphoria just as a gauge to say, okay, you know what, I need to start looking into things. You use your pain to start saying, okay, you know what, I need to start looking into whether this is the bottom. You don't use it as a decision and just willy-nilly start buying. I'll show you guys screenshots. These are screenshots from my OneNote that I was. These are the daily videos. Remember, I was answering questions from the comments, putting in all these charts, all these scribbles. We had our Fibonacci's, our Ichimoku system, the dashboard. I have all of the notes, man. It was good times. Then we had this. Let me find it all. Do you guys remember these days? We're going down memory. Oh man. You would remember this if you were here, Oliver. Do you remember all of this? Let's get a brand new chart so that way I'm not messing this up. We looked at so many things, man. Oh, this was our inflection point analysis. Do you guys remember this? And our inflection points on the way up. Oh man, good times. Oof. This is November 2022. You guys ready? Look at the work we were putting in, guys. Oh, the poll. What's the highest probably target Bitcoin could get up to the cycle? 57% of you guys say 150K. Yeah. Okay, let's go see what Bitcoin can do. I think I have a chart here. Yeah, I have a measured move for 150K right here. Right, I'm pretty tired. Yeah, those are the days indeed. Sure, good times, life-changing times, man. I posted on Twitter. I think you guys should read that tweet. But I think that we might be at the final stage of the bull market. I don't know. I'm gonna be trading it that way until I see different signs. And when I do call the top, when I say, guys, I'm selling, I'm gonna be posting it on Twitter. I'm not gonna be coming out here on the daily videos and saying it. I'm just gonna say, guys, I am selling. It's gonna be on Twitter first. So follow me at Sean Dexter. Make sure you hit the notification icon too, because I'm not gonna have the energy or the time to quickly come out here and say, hey guys, I'm gonna start selling. I'll do that too, but I'm gonna first say it on Twitter. But yeah, back in 2023 Feb, I said Bitcoin is sitting at around $19,000 to $20,000, and I said the early stages of a rising bull market are usually the most difficult. You're always going to be feeling that nagging doubt of whether or not this is all just a sucker's rally. And that nagging doubt is precisely the price you're paying to capture the asymmetric upside. I was getting so much hate over here back then, right? There were people laughing at me for even calling $42,000, $50,000 as our first target. And now look at us, we're saying it's $75,000, right? Now confidence is rising in everyone. And I say this today, okay, as we lead into the end of the year, Sean Dexter, right here, as doubt dissipates, so do the gains. We may be in for a hell of a few months, but it may also be the final stretch. I really think so. So get ready mentally for the last few months. And if I'm wrong, we can all be happy about me being wrong. Krisha's birthday is coming, and that's an anchor point. Alright guys, with that, I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I'll do one more either tomorrow or this weekend for sure. If you guys have any questions, make sure you guys join us at themangoway.com/discord. Hey Michael, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. We had the beautiful Krisha here too. Cheers, Oliver. And thank you, Sherwin, Wolvie. Ben was in here too. Zinmi, of course. RZ99. All of you. If I forget any names, I do apologize. I'm really, really tired today. But I needed to do... Hey, Francis. It's been a while, buddy. Good to see you. But yeah. Keep it mangy. Keep it mangy. Keep it mango. Keep it easy. Keep it stress-free. See ya, guys.